Okay, so I just wanted to send a quick little recap of our first week together. I'm going to keep it pretty short just because he's here and he's not going home. So I mostly am sending this because I know that you miss him and you want to see him and all that good stuff. So this week has been mainly centered around establishing a marker system. So the main one I'm using right now is the word yes. So what a marker is, it is a cue or a sound that marks a moment in time that I like something, and for him that's going to be the announcement of food. So every time I give this marker, I then present food to him. So over time there's a conditioned response, an association between the two. So when he hears the word yes, he knows that food is happening and he's going to get some type of reward. So I'm using that right now to really build engagement. I want to reward him for checking in with me. So if he looks at me, I will use that marker. Yes, I kind of do yep like that sometimes. Yes. Oh. Yep. To put value in checking in with me. And then I'm also going to use it in situations where he is finding motivation elsewhere. So if we come across another dog or person or whatever, and he starts to kind of fixate on them, instead of letting that fixation manifest unwanted feelings, I want to strive for neutrality. So I will switch the value from that potential trigger back onto me. I'm just moving around because I don't want him jumping on me. So he kind of gets like that if I stare at him or I sit and ignore him for too long. So I don't want that to be a go-to behavior, so we're just going to keep moving around. So I apologize if it makes you dizzy. The thing that I'm using follows my movement. But yeah, so I want to create neutrality and distractions around him and withhold that value. So those things, they'll still be there, but they're neither going to be a good thing or a bad thing. They just simply exist, and the value is always on whoever his handler is, which right now it's me. So in my email, I mentioned how I was kind of doing all of this in gradually increasing amounts of distractions. So like at first, of course, it's just here in this training room, and I had the dogs put away. They're out right now. Well, one of them's out on her place over here, and then the other, my puppy, is in her kennel. We've been doing a lot of stuff during drop-off or pick up and drop-off time. So when people are coming in and out of the building with their dogs over in the main building, instead of letting him fix it on those things, I'm just going back and forth with paying him for looking at me and then paying him for showing slight interest. So going back to that, I want him to be able to see things. I don't ever want to correct him for showing interest in things, but I want to be careful with how far their interests go. So if it's something where he's just glancing and then moving away from that, that's totally fine. That's something that I want. So that's what I'm going to pay right there, is just him, hey, I noticed something. I'm not going to let him fixate and get a little frustrated with it. But if it's something where he is later down the road and he's looking at it and changing his demeanor, that's something that kind of goes into leash reactivity. So I want to avoid that by putting the value on me regardless of where we are. So we're just kind of taking baby steps into those distraction settings. We haven't gotten out to a playground yet, just because it's been well, yesterday was kind of yucky, but today it was so cold that I went out with a couple of other dogs and there was just no one out. So we'll hold off until next week. We'll go around a playground around kids and do the same exercises. We're just not there yet because, again, of the weather. It's not been on our side. But he's doing really great in the lobby. When people come in, I let him look at it, and then as soon as he looks at it, I pay him. I mark with his marker, his yes, good boy, and then I just keep him moving. I don't let him sit and fixate on things. I want him moving around and having a good time, but the value is coming from me, the rewards are coming from me, and those things are just neutral things that exist. Right, bud? So he's just getting around, used to moving. Yep. Luring, I'm just kind of luring him into different positions. Yep. I want him being comfortable with where his feet are and how to use all four of them, which sounds silly, but some dogs are not really comfortable with that. Good. Good. Yep. Good job. And you'll hear me use the word good. That's going to be something that I eventually use as a duration marker. So when I put him into behavior, down, good. Like for instance, right now I have him in a down. I'm going to use the word good. Good, to show him that I want him to remain in behavior. Good. Okay. And then okay means he can come out of behavior. behavior. So I'm just using it to kind of build the time gradually and keep rewarding him so that he wants to stay in behavior, so I can build up that amount of time that he's willing to stay in that behavior. Good. I'll eventually fade out the lure, so right now I'll pull my hand away. Good. I just want to do it at a time and a frequency. Good. That he's successful. Good. So you see how he kind of like fidgets a little bit before he gets a chance to break behavior. Good. I reward him. Okay. Good job. I hope all that makes sense. Sometimes I struggle with relaying information as I'm doing it. Multitasking, it's not my strong suit. Good boy. Let's go. Yep. Good job. And then yes, the marker that has been the star of the show of this video. What? Uh-oh. Good. Good. Sit. Good. Okay. Yes means the behavior's over. You don't have to do anything. It just means I like what you did. Come get something from me. Yes. Good. Whereas when I say good, I want him to remain in behavior, so I'm bringing the reinforcement to him. So I guess the difference between the three is good, I'm bringing something to you because I want you to stay in that behavior. Okay, come out, you can do whatever you want to. Yes was always followed by a reward. So if I say yes, then I want him to come run over to me to get his reinforcement. How I deliver it is also important. Like sometimes I will, yes, make him chase my hand a little bit. Good job, just to kind of add in that prey drive. Sometimes I'll do a repetition. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Just so that he can't predict when the reinforcement is ending. So if I always say yes and give him one kibble and then we're done, eventually he'll learn that once he gets his reinforcement, he can check out. So if it's something where sometimes it keeps happening over and over and over again, he's going to be much more willing to stay engaged with me. Yes. 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 Oh boy. All right. Good job. We are doing a lot of obedience stuff too, but really the main focus has been that engagement and taking him into gradually, again, increasingly distracting settings so that he will be able to, I think you were the one that said that he was going to go to camp or be around a lot of kids. So it's just, that's something that's very tempting for most dogs to be calm in that kind of a situation. So I want him to find things happening around him to be pretty neutral, and I want him to have a good amount of impulse control. So that's kind of where I'm focusing my attention right now. And then when you see this video, if you have some input that you want me to move in different directions, of course, let me know. But, all right. I hope any of this makes sense. It's my last video of the day on Friday. Just because he's overnight, I try to get the dogs that are leaving for the day, I try to get their videos earlier in the day. So my brain is on its way out of being off for the weekend. You wanna go say bye-bye? I just brushed him out because he was getting those scrabble muffins. Yeah. I know that your family wants to see you. Hi, Mom. Hello. All right. Enough of me being awkward, right, bud? Sit. Good. Okay.